Hello, hello, Connecticut, Ontario, Canada. Hey, how about that? So if you want to turn your camera on, I would love to see you. Yes, you are the one from Ontario, Canada. Enjoy your breakfast, lunch. All righty, let's see if I know anyone. Tony Gagliano, where are you located? Illinois? Christine, our healing dance from BC, beautiful place. Tiffany, white sage woman, hello, hello. Andy Moore, where are you calling? Watching us
Seattle,
from?
Seattle, Washington.
Seattle, Washington. I have been there several times. I love it there. It's beautiful. I was always lucky it wasn't raining when we were there. Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia. Virginia is a beautiful place too. I was there in April actually. I took a workshop with Raymond Grace. Orlando, Florida. I'm probably going to be there in February next year. Oh my God, from Copenhagen, Denmark. Where are you, Coco? Let me see. Do you have your camera on? Otherwise, I cannot. Oh, here you are. Hello, hello.
Just for a short minute, yeah.
Okay. Alrighty. So let's start. Okay. Now it is. I guess my assistant turned it on because one time I actually forgot it, and that was not so good. Anyway, Cornwall, England, and Portugal. Wow, I love it. People from all over the world. And this is really wonderful because um, today it's all about geopathic stress and geopathic stress reduction. And who is familiar? Who is doing dowsing? Who has, you all have had some dowsing. Did you do the dowsing with the dowsing rods, or do you do the dowsing, yeah, with the dowsing rods? Okay, so who is completely new to geopathic stress? Okay, good. There are a few. Ken Davis, Colorado real estate. You're gonna benefit a lot from that because if you have places that don't want to sell, then geopathic stress could actually be the source of it. If you haven't signed up for our workshop the end of September, then you definitely want to be there because Scott Anderson is doing the practical dowsing and you really don't want to miss that. Lacey from Boulder, Colorado. Awesome, awesome. Alrighty, so uh, if you probably know me from some videos or not, but I'm Katharina Sperling-Kaffel. I met Slim 28 years ago back in Germany. And actually, before I fell in love with Slim, I fell in love with the tools. And because I was hired to be his translator for his workshops. And so I had no idea what it's all about. And so he sent me a workbook like that, what people get at our workshops here. And then when I started reading about the tools, and at the time he only had 8 tools, I was totally on fire. I said, oh my God, I hope he's nice because I want to help him getting those out into the world because there were only a handful of people who were distributing them. And then I started learning about his dowsing technique to actually locate and block geopathic stress. And that really fascinated me because in Bavaria, where I'm from, many people douse. They douse for water, they douse for harmful energies. And Dr. Hartmann, obviously, he found these grid lines that cause cancer if you're laying on them or can cause cancer in many cases. And so, and when I learned that Slim actually found a remedy to block those lines, I was just totally there. I thought, oh my God, this has to go out into the world. And you know, because people say, yeah, there's nothing you can do. You have to move your bed. You have to put a big crystal in the corner. You have to do all kinds of things, but really you have to move. And with Slim's method, you don't have to move anything. You just find it, and then you put the rods where you found it with, you put them in the ground, and this blocks them, and you can enjoy a better quality of life. So this is what fascinated me. And of course, Slim, you know, he has been dowsing probably thousands of properties. And so I'm very grateful for being able to pass his knowledge on to you all, and also doing the practical workshops with Scott Anderson. And this is a rare opportunity. He hasn't, in March, he was here for the first time since COVID. And so it's I never know, is he coming back the next year or not? So this is why some of you might be on the fence of coming to the workshop. Don't hesitate, because we are already, I think, over 60% occupied. So we do it in our yurt, and it's definitely an experience. If you can, then I highly recommend that you sign up for it so that you can join us. So, what is geopathic stress? I mean, we all heard about it. What is geopathic stress? Geopathic stress is, we can call it, geo comes from earth, empathic is illness, is discomfort, is a source of diseases. And so why are we so, and geopathic stress lines that can come from natural occurring, like through earth, water veins, fissures in the earth, rock formations, fault zones, all kinds of different sources. But geopathic stress, and especially the Hartmann grid, that can come through man-made, through the increased wireless technology, the electrification that's happening all over the world. And so this is why, you know, when Slim started, for example, the Hartmann grid might have been only every 6 or 8 feet. And now with having so much more houses built, more technology, more gadgets, they might be every 2 feet. And I get into that in a little bit, but I just want to give an overview why it's so important that we understand what geopathic stress is, or why it is important for us to put into consideration, especially when we have all of a sudden we are sick and the doctors don't find anything. And that could be due to geopathic stress. And that could be due to negative earth energies that are silently but continuously affecting our health. And then comes a point where all of a sudden we have cancer, but it hasn't been all of a sudden, it has been developing over time. And so this is why, you know, we want to know about it. And the other thing is, like, especially now school season starts, you know, and your kids or grandchildren, they go back to school, but they were A students. They go to a different class or are in a different classroom, and all of a sudden the grades go down the hill. And that
Yes.
is not because the teacher is stupid or the kids is not interested anymore. This is because they are probably sitting on a crossing of harmful earth energies. And so they have no chance. They cannot focus because it's so irritating to them. And so this is why it's one of the reasons why I think now is a perfect time to talk about it, because when you notice, you know, your children are affected, they are just not happy at school, then that is a good sign that geopathic stress could be the source of it. And I use, in the workshop, we are going deeper into the difference between geopathic stress and Hartmann grid. But just to give you an idea, the Hartmann grid goes basically from north to south and from west to east. And so, and the geopathic stress lines, they can go either way. They can go diagonal, they can go vertical or horizontal, either way. They can come from each directions influencing your house. And this is why, but whenever we are on a crossing, that's sitting or sleeping, that's when it has the most health effect on us. And so this is, no, the ley lines, Shelley, the ley lines are actually the positive lines. The ley lines, and unfortunately we don't have as many ley lines as we have geopathic stress lines. Ley lines is something that, you know, they are positive. They are, you know, what we would like to be around. But so other reasons for the harmful effects of geopathic stress, there could be insomnia, there could be just irritation in general, forgetfulness, migraines all the time, even sudden infant death could be the cause of geopathic stress, because there was a dowser, her name was Katie Bachler in Austria. She was a tiny little lady and she was looking for what she called healthy places. And so she noticed and she wrote some books. One is actually translated into English. And she wrote books where she showed that when the children, you know, like you put your kid at night in the bed and in the morning you wake up and it's right in the corner of the bed, you know, kind of hiding away from, and they automatically move away from those lines. So this is an indicator that your child has this instinct to move away because it's not comfortable. So that is when you want to, you know, either use the Slim's technique to block those lines, or you just have to move the bed. But don't, you know, sometimes people think, oh, I have to fix it in the bed, and you don't have to, because that could cause sudden infant death. And this is what Katie Bachler noticed over and over. Or what we have in Europe, not so much in the US, that you know, farmers lived in the same house for hundreds of years, and every, you know, like the man always sleeps on the left side and the woman on the right side, or the other way around. And then, you know, the man always develops stomach cancer, or the woman develops ovarian cancer, something like that. And what Dr. Hartmann found, that those, I think he did about, in 95% of the cases he went to houses, they were lying on the crossing of one of those lines. This was where they developed actually cancer in their body. And so Slim is, no, Slim is not alive anymore. He transitioned in November of 2007. So, but we do have videos from him, and we still do make all the products according to his guidelines. Even we have many more now, and we are north of Erie. If you want to visit us sometime, or when you come to the workshop, then you will see where we are. So this is something important for you guys to watch out for, you know, like, or another example is if couples are happily married and then they're moving into a new house. The house is beautiful, everything is nice, and all of a sudden they start arguing. You know, there's one spot in the house where they always start arguing. And that could be that this is a geopathic, a harmful earth energies that are interrupting with their well-being. Another reason for geopathic stress could be financial problems. We had in our neighbor city next to us, there is a nice area, and every restaurant, no matter how good the food was, how friendly the service was, they just didn't make it. And I swear it was due to geopathic stress, because there was no other reason. The location was perfect, you know, and the food was always good, the service was good, and they just couldn't hold the business. And it was really sad to see. The workshop is in Erie, Colorado, and that is in our yurt. And here is the address. And Ken, if you want to put the link in from the website, then people can click on it and get more information on the workshop. What is special about our workshop this time is that Scott agreed on doing a 4-hour advanced workshop on Monday after the workshop. And in the advanced workshop, he's doing showing you how you can do map dowsing, how you can use other techniques to remedy harmful energies in the house that you are working on. Or if you deal with a really large property, there are other ways to do that. Then that's what we teach at the standard workshop. Thank you, Ken. So if you go in the chat, you can click on the link and then you get to our website where you can learn more about the workshop. And those of you who speak German, I'm giving a workshop in Bavaria, Germany on October, wait a moment, the last weekend in October. I'll be teaching October 25 and 26. There will be a workshop in German. So if you speak German or want to practice your German, then you are welcome to come to our workshop in Germany. So what else about geopathic stress? You know, you can actually, if you look around your house, you can notice trees that are supposed to go straight, and they are going leaning over in one side. Or like where we lived, when I first came over here, there was this huge tree figuration, and there was one tree that just didn't make it. That was completely dead, and the other trees were just flourishing. So that is, oops, what are we getting? And so we have a big truck coming by right now. So this is a sign you don't even need dowsing rods. You know, this is either Hogmann grid or geopathic stress lines. When you see around your house, around your property, there where plants just don't do well. A friend of mine, she had a cherry tree in her garden, and it just wouldn't grow. And so Slim did the dowsing, and then the cherry tree actually had fruit the following year. So, or another woman in Germany, she had on the outside of her house, on the wall, she had a plant going up, and all of a sudden, you know, it separated. And after Slim did the dowsing, the plant actually straightened out, you know. So that's really fun to see. And and for English-speaking persons in Europe, I think, Christina, where are you? Here you are. Where in Europe are you?
Yes, actually, now I'm with my friend. We are speaking from Gdańsk, Danzig, from Poland. You have your fans in Poland, but I'm living in Spain.
Oh, oh my God. Okay, actually, I just got an inquiry from a gentleman from Poland, and he wants to come by to our office in Germany and see the tools.
Oh,
And we
see,
have
could
the
be in
first
Polish.
book.
In Polish.
Yeah, the first book is translated into Polish. The
Okay, fantastic.
Slim's Universe. It's called Slim's Pullinga, da da da. So you can get
Yeah,
that
it's a
from,
book. It's a book. Yes, my friend Yola, it's reading in Polish.
yeah.
Yes,
So
it would be very
yeah,
interesting in some
you,
workshop. Whatever, could be in Polish, English, whatever.
yeah, I don't, unfortunately, I have not butchered Polish. I tried a little bit of other languages, but Polish I haven't
I
tried.
can be your translator.
Yeah, so you have to sponsor a workshop, and then I come and do a workshop in English somewhere in Europe. I'd be happy to do that.
Okay, we try to make a group.
Exactly, get a group together, and then I'm happy to come. Okay, so other signs of geopathic stress. If you have bees, if you have a nest of bees or wasps on your house, that is also a sign of geopathic stress. Or if you have antils outside, antils are crossings of geopathic stress or Hartmann grid. So this is some invitation for you to just look around and see. Oh, I'll answer your question in a moment. Wait a moment, where was I now? Yeah, but when we did the dowsing at a house, and he had bees actually building I want to say a nest for a better word. I know wasps have nests, but they were just a whole bunch of bees, and so we did the dowsing, and so lo and behold, there was a line going through where the bees were. But after we were done, the guy who owned the house, he said he removed the dowsing rods again because he said if the bees go, he would have to do a whole renovation and fix what, because there apparently was honey going down, or I have no idea what happened, but he said to fix the damage would cost him more than leaving the geopathic stress line going through this area of the house, because it was not an area where it was a very important. It was not a place where you spend a lot of time. I think it was going to the bathroom or something, but nothing where you say, oh my God, it's my office or my bed and I want to block it, Okay, so let me just see that I answer some question. Great, Christine. Hey, how did you do the clearing? Did you do it with Slim's technique, or did you have another technique? Okay, I don't see Christine. It doesn't matter how many are we. Okay, so when I say he doused, wait a moment. So the dowsing is how we are doing the dowsing is just like Slim did, and we are using dowsing rods. And the dowsing rods, they come twice that lengths. They come like 3 feet, 3 feet long. We are using welding rods that you can get in any welding supply store by the pound. And then we cut them into half. And then before we use them, we bend them, and then we are using those, and then we are going. And the focus is on finding, we go counterclockwise, and we are starting usually on the northwest corner. And then we ask first about the Hartmann grid, and that the dowsing rods open when we go to the center line of a Hartmann grid, because the center line, the lines can be very wide, and even we call them lines, you have to imagine them as walls, like people who can see energy, they describe it to us as gray walls, you know, going all the way up and down. And so when you just say open when you come to the line, they might open here, but the center line is the one that we want to block. And so the first step is that we start on the northwest corner and we are going down south, and then we are getting everything that is coming from the west going to the east into the property. And then when we are at the southwest corner, we are going east, and then we are catching everything that goes coming from the south going into the house. And that is this is what I mean when I say he doused. And so what he did in this case, the line that was going through the tree was blocked because he found the line coming from somewhere at the corner of the house. So when we douse, when we have a property where the house is somewhere, we have to find out where north is, where the directions are, because not every house is built directly north to south. You know, there may be this way or that way, and so this is why you need to know where is north and the directions, and then even if the house is, let me just see if I can draw a line. Oops, wait a moment. I have so many thingy opens. Let me just try if I can draw something. Okay, now you're going to get acquainted with my drawing skills. So, oops, can you see that? So let's see, here is north, but your house is like that, okay? So this would be the line going from west to east. And so this is where, wait a moment, and I don't know this program very well, but in this case, you would have to, how do I stop that? Anyway, so what you can see here is when the house is built like that and not straight north to south direction, you would have to start here and you would go this way and block everything that's coming from the north going into the house, okay? So everything that's going into the house, that would you block here. And then you would go this way. And this way you will block anything that's coming from the west going into your property. Does this make sense? Everything clear as ink?
Yes, yes.
No? Anyone have questions? Oh, wait a moment. Okay. Oh, that's a good question, Vishal. Do you see any commonalities or contradiction with Chinese feng shui and Indian Vastu? Or is this completely different? Actually, what we found, the feng shui people in Germany, we had a whole group trained, and even some feng shui people here participated in our workshops. And they say once what we are teaching is basically the foundation, you know, and they say once you have done the geopathic stress, or everything they're doing with feng shui, or I'm not so familiar with Indian Vastu, but the feng shui people say they are much more effective in using the feng shui techniques than if they would not have done the dowsing before, because it's almost like you know, if you build a house, you have to make sure the foundation is solid before you are putting the house up and the decoration and the buildings stuff inside, you know, building out the rooms. And this is the dowsing, what we are doing sets the foundation, and then the feng shui and the other, this has much more effect than if you ignore the geopathic stress. This was the experience that feng shui people shared with me. You know, that their business has been so much more effective, and they would always start with the dowsing before they, you know, block harmful energies before they go further. Now, how do I block that? When you are outside and you take the, let me just see how I can move my thingy. I gotta figure out how to get a little closer. So can you still see the rods? Can you still see them? So let's pretend my head is the line. Okay, so this is the line that I want to block. And we always want to block it in the perpendicular. So when we go outside, we take the dowsing rod, we stick it in the ground and then bend it over. And we want to make sure that it's about 2 to 3 inches deep in the ground. And then you do the other one that you have basically a staple. So, and this is how you block it. And the reason you want to put it deep in the ground is that when you have, you know, you mow your grass, that the lawnmower picks it up, or if you have animals, that they don't dig it out again. And talking about, yes, the focus is, you know, like they want, what you do is you take your dowsing rods, you put them in the ground where you found the center line, and then you go from the whole area, and then you come back, and then you put every rod in the ground. You don't put them in right away. You mark them, and then you once you're done with your tour, then you are going to start blocking them. And it's good to have, depending what the ground is like, if you have a, you want to take like a hammer that has a little hook so that you can carve a line so that you can put them in there. Okay. And Pat, I don't know how you would want to use one rod. Where's Steve? I don't see you. Oh, here you are. Yeah, you know, I don't know how you want to, it's really hard to do that. This is what we have always done. This is what Slim taught us. So this is much better. Do it this way, and then you have kind of a double staple. And depending where you are, you might have to check if the soil is very acid, the rods won't last as long as if the soil is dry, like here in Colorado. We had a gentleman who lived on the coast of Germany in Bremen area, and he had to get new rods, I think, after 18 months or so. So they were completely eroded, completely dispersed. So anyway, but you can remedy that by taking bigger rods. You know, ours are, I think, an 1/16 of an inch. But when Slim was doing a dowsing job up in Vale, where it was very rocky, he would take rods that were much bigger than those, you know, to really get them into the ground. Yes, Ashley, you want to do that on every line, and with everything, Yeah, actually, in the first book, Slim Sperling's Universe, that is available as ebook, he talks about some cases, what he has done and the results he had. And I highly recommend also to get the book From a Cowboy to a World-Renowned Inventor. And that's available as audiobook with Slim's voice. And it is available as ebook right now. We are still figuring out to get it in a paper version. But this is a combination of everything that he talked about in Slim's universe and what in the second book, what, in the second book we have like in italic, in the mind of a master, in italic is everything that he was saying, and that was taken from workshops that he did and lectures he gave. And so, and the written information we have and workshop, different sources, we put that together in the From a Cowboy to a World-Renowned Inventor. So, and it's really in Slim's voice, and it's a lot of good information there. So I highly recommend you getting those. And yeah, in the first book is not going to be printed again. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, so the reason why you want to start with the Hartmann grid is that sometimes the Hartmann lines and the Geopathic lines are almost parallel to each other. And so when you do the Hartmann line first, then you cover sometimes the Geopathic lines also. And wait a moment. Let me just, should the rods be placed one crossed over the other? No, they are not crossed over the other. They are next to each other, So if you see, this is the first one that goes in, and this is the second one. So they are next to each other, but they are not crossing over. Who asked that? Julia. I don't know where you are. Here you are. Okay. Yeah, this is how we do that. How close to the building, Heather? That is a good question. And it really depends on the circumstances. Like if you have enough space around that you can put it in the ground, then just so that the area that you want to cover is protected. And Slim was estimating it probably protects about 100 to 200 feet. But this might have changed now. That was, like 30 years ago. But with everything, more buildings and everything. So, but at least I want to say probably 50 to 100 feet area is protected. So as far as you can go out comfortably and still make sure your house or the main area you want to protect, that's what's possible. If you are living in an apartment where you cannot go out, what you can do, you just take the rods and you can place them on a picture, for example. You can put them under the carpet. You can put them on the trim board on the floor. You can tuck them in there. If you have a plant, you can put it in the plant and position the plant so that it is perpendicular to the line. So you can put it over curtain rods. Just be creative and the way to find out if it works, if you don't notice a difference, then move it. Okay, or you can douse again and see if the rods are still open, then you haven't covered the area that you need to. So let's just see what else we have. Wait a moment. Someone, where are Urobio? How do you say? Yeah. So I haven't put the advanced workshop on. We were really low on staff. 2 people were on vacation, and so we were doing our best to keep up with orders. By the end of the week, I have it up on the website so that you can sign up. But you have to have, actually, it's only for people who have done a workshop with Scott. So if you haven't done a workshop with Scott, you cannot participate in the advanced workshop, because even if you would have participated in a workshop with me, I don't give the same information when I talk about geopathic stress, because I have only a morning and I don't go into we don't go out to practice. And Scott has been dowsing for a really long time, and I haven't practiced the dowsing like he did. So I don't have this wealth of information to share, because I'm running 2 businesses, and doing dowsing on top of that is a little too much for me. But this is why you definitely wanna have a workshop with Scott. Have you signed up for it already? You have. Oh, perfect. Okay, good. Yeah, then definitely. Yeah, as soon as I have it, I'll you get the link. Okay, I'm looking forward to seeing you. That's exciting. Yay! Good job. Good job, guys. You really want to come. It's so much fun. Yes, it is on the 27th and 28th. And on Friday night, we have from 6 to 8, we have a meet and greet where, you get to meet other participants and of course us, and we have a little snack and just getting together and starting off. That's awesome. Great. Anyone else who has already registered for the workshop? You have to do it, guys. I mean, not all of you can, obviously, because we don't have so much space. Yeah, I really, really recommend for you to do it, because another thing what you can do with the dowsing is, once you have done the geopathic stress and the heart magret, and you still notice there's something not quite right yet, then you can, you live in Erie, and we are north of Erie. Actually, we only have Erie as mailing address because Frederick doesn't have a mail carrier. So we are actually north of Highway 52. After the school, the gravel road is Tipple Parkway. So that, yeah, you gotta come. The dowsing rods that we are using, Ashley, we get them from a welding supply store, and we buy them by the pound. And at the workshop, people who come to the workshop, you can purchase more at the workshop, but we don't offer them on the website. It's too much. We don't do that. So anyway, what else? Yeah, when something is still not feeling right after geopathic and after the heart magret, then you can look for if there are personal lines or interference lines, like you want to sell your house and you just cannot find any buyers. And first, you always want to look, are you still attached to the house? You don't want to let it go, but if you checked all that and there's still something, you just cannot sell it. I mean, you look for the interference lines, you block the interference lines, and it's selling within a short time for the amount that you want. This has happened to Scott many times, and the same for Slim. And or if you wanna build on your property and there are people who just are not happy about it, and you can find those interference lines, you can block them. You can, Slim had a situation where his business was lying on the phone, he was on the phone all the time, and all of a sudden he noticed, oops, 3 days, no no phone calls. And then he found a line blocking the communication between him and his customers. So there's a lot more you will learn at the workshop. And so this is why oh, we have more questions. Thank you. Okay, so I have done that. Yes, they are. Okay, thank you, Kelly. I haven't planned a workshop in the UK, but maybe something is happening. I was actually at June 16 and 17. There was the Alternative Medicine Integrative Health Conference in London. And I was the first keynote speaker there, and people were very interested in the tools. And so there might be something coming out of that. There are people interested. So if someone is actually interested in sponsoring a workshop there, then you gotta contact me, and then we can figure out the details. I have an office in Germany also. And so I'm actually flying out in October, a week after the workshop, and do a workshop there and be at the conference. And so we can definitely combine that, because I go 3-4 times a year to Europe anyway. So yeah, Aline, that would be fun. What I suggest for a beginner, I would just get some dowsing rods. I would get some dowsing rods, and then I would start. And something, don't do it around full moon, or because full moon, everything expands, including the negative lines. And so as a beginner, that would drive you crazy, because you don't really know where to start and where it ends. And you spend a lot of rods for nothing. I mean, the good thing and what I like about Slim's method is that it's so inexpensive and so effective, But wait a moment, I'm gonna move that down a little. So you start and you tell your dowsing rods, give me a yes. And for some people, a yes is actually crossing over. But I took a class, and he was just saying, hey, when you start, tell the dowsing rods, I want you to open like that. Okay, so this is, you just give the demand. You say, every time there's a yes, I want you to open. And if there's a no, then I want you to cross. So you can tell your dowsing rods what to do. And then you can start with simple questions, like it always has to be a yes or a no answer as answer. You cannot say, is it better for me to go by car or by train? That's not a good question, because well, whatever you want to do, one goes this and the other one goes that. So don't do that. But then ask simple questions, but you can start with asking questions where you have the answer. And then you get more trust. And then you can start with looking for, are you living in a house or in an apartment?
I'm in an apartment.
Okay, then if you can find out where north and south is, or north and west, and then you can go on the wall of your apartment, and you can say open when you come to the center of a Hartmann line. And then when it opens, then you take it. You should have at least 2 sets. If you have 5 sets, would be better. But if you have at least 2 sets, and you can also take coat hangers that you get from the cleaner, and then you take those and put it there to block it. Like if this is the line and the other one, you want to block it perpendicular. Okay. And then you take the other rod, and then you go and say open when I come to a Hartmann line, and to the center of the Hartmann line. And so when you block it correctly, then the rods wouldn't open when you come to that spot because it is blocked. Okay, so we always have to be very clear on what questions we are asking. And we have to focus on what we want to find, not what we found already. Okay? And so this is how you can get started. If you have hangers from the cleaner, then use those and then start slow, and then you get more confidence. And maybe if you have friends that have a house, and then you can go out there and start working around the house. Yeah. Does this make sense? Okay, perfect. Ken, yes, the first class of Scott Anderson is September 27 and 28, and the dowsing workshop is on Monday, the 29th. Where are you? I lost you. Oh, here you are. Okay, good. So yeah, make sure do your viewings before or after, and then you can, if you have a lot of business over the weekend, then make sure to free some time. Definitely, I think here we also have the option that you just come on Saturday for Scott or just on Sunday for the Light Life Tools. You know, but for you, Ken, I think you will be thanking me when you learned about Scott. And then you can come back on Monday and do the advanced workshop. The advanced workshop is on the 29th, and the basic workshop with Scott is on the 27th, and on the 28th is the all about the Light Life Tools. And other tools, yes. And what we found was that our Sacred Cupid silver-plated harmonizer, and nowadays with so much more going on, the empowerment silver-plated environmental harmonizer is even more powerful to block the Hartmann grid and geopathic stress lines. And this is what it looks like. Wait a moment. Let me. You see, it has about the size of a golf ball. It comes with a CD, and so to block the Hartmann grid, the CD has to be activated 24/7, but you can have it for the Hartmann grid, the CD has to be played 24/7. The sound is not very pleasant. It is a frequency, but you can put it in a cabinet somewhere where you don't hear it, or when you are leaving the house, you can play it louder, and when you're coming back, lower. But it has to be played 24/7, and so that is yeah, that was really fun because we had a gentleman in our workshop in Germany. It was one of the first workshops that Slim did. And he had a student of Dr. Hartmann douse his place and found, you know, lines and said, yeah, you have to move this and that. And so anyway, so he came to our workshop. He got one of the environmental harmonizers, silver plated, and then he didn't tell a Hartmann student what he did, but he was activating the harmonizer. And when Hartmann student came and was checking for the Hartmann lines, and he couldn't find anything anymore. And so he was like, oh my God, what do you have? I gotta have that. I wish Dr. Hartmann would have known that there's something else that can help, and not only that, you know. So anyway, it's a lot of fun what we have. Okay, so let me just answer some question. Okay, Jill, you are right. The dowsing is on September 27th, and on the 29th is the advanced workshop. And the advanced workshop is not yet up on the website. This is what I was telling you, Rovio, before. I haven't had a chance to put it up there yet because this is by invitation only, because it's only for participants of Scott's workshop. So this is why I have to find a way that those of you who are registered for the workshop can actually then participate, and you get the link for signing up for that workshop. Okay, because we don't want to. Yes, one of those harmonizers will definitely help a whole house, unless you have a mansion that goes over several blocks. But if you have a normal house, then you definitely are covered with that. Yes. And what we found, and it's not about the harmonizers, but just that, anyway, then with the silver plated, they seem to work best when it's all about invisible stuff, like the Hartmann lines, the EMF, the radiation, and things like that. And when we have more air pollution and other things, then the gold plated seem to work better, but both work on both sides. There is just a little different. Okay. No, the 27th and the 28th are it is one workshop for the whole weekend, but on Saturday we are focusing on the dowsing, and on Sunday we are focusing on the light life tools. And it's definitely you get a chance to have a session with the tools that has been really profound healing happened. There's no promise that it always happens, but we have people, some got really could let go of emotional blockages they have been carrying around for a long time. One guy, he had, and I think if you follow us on social media, you have seen him, he was complaining about shoulder problems, where he went to chiropractors and acupuncture and you name it. For years he was having pain, and then I did a session with him, and then it was gone, and it was like, I don't remember now, maybe 20 minutes or maybe half an hour, maybe even less. And I called him and asked 6 months later, I said, how are you doing? And I could still hear him smile to the phone and say, I'm still good, it's all good, So it's really fun what we have. What is the harmonizer called, being you have so many? Oh, so in the past, the sacred qubit was the best one, environmental harmonizer. Let me just put it in there. But we found that environmental harmonizer, silver plated, sacred, or better empowerment. Oops. Qubit harmonizer. Okay, we have 5 more minutes. Any last minute? Will you be doing workshops in the UK? Only by me invitation. This is done. Alrighty. Okay. Okay, this is all good. Yeah, so Jill, if you sign up for the workshop already, or you haven't done a workshop with us yet, right? Oh, I don't see you. You're not here anymore. Are there any more questions? It's getting late evening in Europe.
Yes, can I ask, I'm not going to write, can I ask, because you are talking about school, and if you have a child in the school and it's difficult to work at school, yes, because it's a public space, and if a child is sitting in some bad place, can we use something personal to put on the person? Because if you can't, you don't have a permission to act on the space.
Oh,
Yes.
it depends how old the student is. I don't really know if a personal harmonizer would remedy the Hartmann grid. I'm not 100% sure. The personal harmonizer definitely can help with the overall increased well-being of the person. And I would probably take a silver-bladed one for that, but it depends how old the student is. And yeah, so that's what I would do.
I just ask like because it could be like for a person in the office, you know, that you can't act in the place, and then like for adult also, it could be
in the
dual,
office,
yes?
in the office you can have this one in the drawer.
Okay, with you.
You know, you can have that in the drawer and you can put it on the CD, you know. So because it will be picking up the frequency from the CD, it is more powerful when the CD is actually playing, you know. But this is what I would do. So yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. When it comes to blocking EMF, then what we are doing, oops, I get more and more questions. Okay. Okay, yeah, when it comes to EMF, we have the rings over our router, over our smart meter, over all electrical devices, because the way the rings are twisted, they are neutralizing the magnetic field so that you have still the electricity running, but you don't have the harmful effects of the combination of the electromagnetic. Okay, yeah. Does this help?
Do you have a recommendation for a personal harmonizer for chronic pain?
For chronic pain, you know, I'm not so sure. I think we should talk about that later. Have a separate call on that, so I get a little more information on that. I
Okay.
wouldn't want to do that here,
Okay.
but I can send me an email and then we can set up another Zoom call for that, Anne.
Yeah, great.
Okay? Yeah, you're welcome. So the rods are like used like pendulum. The reason why we are using the rods versus pendulum, because with the pendulum you cannot block them, but we are using the rods and then we can block them right away. Okay. So wait a moment. It blocks EMF to a certain degree. The EMF that comes through the Hartmann grid, those are blocked, but all the EMFs that you still have in the house will not be blocked by the harmonizer alone. And the rods we are using are copper, yes, but as Lim was mentioning, if you have cleaner hangers, then you can use those also. Okay. Okay, guys. Anything else? Someone wants to take me out for lunch? Yes, we can definitely do that sometime. And I think what the difference between gold and silver, we have that on the website. And silver, what we found, helps more when it comes to the harmonizers, helps more with everything that is unseen, like emotional stuff, mental stuff, radiation, EMF, negative energies and stuff like that. Okay. Okay, guys. rings. Yes, actually, when you find the crossing of the Geopathic and you can put a ring around it, that has been improving as well. Victoria can try that. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, caller. Thank you all for coming. Enjoy. You will get the replay as soon as I have it done, as soon as I got the recording uploaded and share it. And those of you who are on the fence, please make sure to sign up. I would love to meet you in person here. And we are providing some lunch for you, all organic, all healthy stuff. So come. I look forward to seeing you. Bye.